My dogs are out. We're not going to be out here a very long time. You may notice something different today. You may notice that Rain has on his prong collar right now and a leash. Yep. Well, today he's staying close to me. I may let him go in a minute so he can play a little bit with Storm. But for the most part, he's going to be with me today. And of course, the prong collars do have like a pointed ends. They're not sharp, but they do, stick in there. So the idea being that he gets the message that today's not going to be one of those days that he gets to do what he did on yesterday, which is decide to disobey. So what do you do when your dogs disobey? Well, you got to do retraining. So we're in the retraining phase right now. Let me turn this music down. So with the retraining means that we have to start with the basics. And with him, let me set up the scene in case I know there was one other person that was here yesterday morning watching us do the live, but I'll rehash on what happened and then kind of what we've been doing to kind of mitigate what's going on with him. So obviously this is my Cane Corso, and by the way, let me see if I can say hello to you this morning. It's so cold, guys, so I'm like bundled up pretty nicely here. Ah, where's my camera? Let's see here. Some kind of way I could do this. Okay, well, maybe not. I was going to say hello to you, but anyways, I'm Storm and Rain's dad, and this is Rain, the Cane Corso, and then Storm is over there. She's the Rottweiler. We're hugging this outdoor router because EvuMux requires a lot of data. So we've got to stay close to this outdoor router. And we're going to copy the link and we'll put it in the comments so that if you do have a puppy, you do want to talk about training issues, we can well we can all see it. So let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and post that link to the bottom of the screen there. So all you have to do is copy and paste into your browser, and we'll have a good old time. So let me set up the scene for you guys so you know what's going on with Rainy Bop, because you're saying I'm not used to seeing Rain with the leash on his neck and with prong collars on. He's such a good dog. He is a good dog. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. He's a really good boy. But sometimes good boys revert back. And so yesterday was a prime example of him reverting back to a time period where he didn't have. Um, sorry guys, it's really cold. I'm putting on my gloves, and he's like sniffing my glove, like, "What is that?" He also knows I got something. I got some incentives. We'll get into that in a minute. But right now, let me finish telling you the story. So we were streaming. Well, we tried to stream, guys, yesterday, but I looked at the video and I'm like, my goodness, it was an uh, ultimate failure on the part of the uh, Wi-Fi and streaming broadband. However much broadband EvuMux needs, it required a lot more than what I had to give yesterday. Good morning, Chloe's grandpa. How are you? We're trying again a second time to stream. Have you noticed Chloe's grandfather? He's got on something a little different today. So I'm explaining to everyone what happened yesterday. I actually ended up deleting that live stream yesterday because it was just not worth it. The video quality was so poor, and I realized you could probably barely hear me. So too many things, right? You try things like AirPods or whatever for the for the audio. Sorry guys, my fingers are cold, so I'm trying to put my little fingers inside there. Um, but yeah, so I had to delete that one. But I hated to do that because I wanted people to see in real life the struggles that even a good dog like this boy, how he misbehaved yesterday, and it was significant too. People that say, "Well, it's not that big a deal." To me, it is, and I think if you are trying to make sure you have dogs that listen to you, you know that that wasn't a good thing yesterday. So if you could say the beginning, the craziness to video, it would help others. Yeah, I think so. But so the problem is, so Chloe's grandpa, I went back and I looked at the video, and it was like so grainy. And unfortunately, I didn't have it where it was set to record locally with enough quality for anyone to learn anything from that. So that's why I'm going to talk about and rehash, just kind of give you the audio version. Yeah, go for it. You can speak, no judgment. But so yeah, I wanted to kind of just rehash it in a kind of like a narrative, and then and just kind of share with what I'm doing now. But yeah, you definitely chime in as much as you want. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. So, but as you go ahead and type that, I'm going to continue to talk about exactly what happened. So yesterday we were right here trying to. They took my dogs. Chloe's grandfather. You want to elaborate on that? I wasn't expecting you to say they took your dogs. The other thing, Chloe, I'm not sure if you're comfortable with that, but if you wanted to come live and kind of talk it through, um, just copy that link and I'll let you on so that we can hear the full story because that kind of took me by surprise. Oh, wow. Okay. Chloe, are you interested in coming live to talk about this? And don't worry, if anyone else is watching, I will get back to my story uh, on what happened yesterday with my dogs. But Chloe's grandfather sounds like they've got a situation here. Okay, you don't know how to. The idea would be to copy that link in the comments that I posted, and then just put it into a browser, and it will give you basically a like a link or something that you click on, and then I'll get an alert, and then I'll be able to click you on right to your. So if you're on your phone with the camera, I could basically talk to you through your phone. And we could put you on the live stage. But if you don't know how to do it, or we can't have too many problems, then I could just read your text as well on the screen, your comments. But that sounds terrible. You tried to help her, but the money. So it sounds like your staff attacked your old dog. Hmm. The link is not okay. So the link is not copying. Let me try it one more time then. So if I add it to the comments here, let me see here, paste, uh, and I post it. So that link there, you can't copy that from what I just posted and add it to your browser. Like highlight it, copy it, paste it into your browser link or to your whatever phone you're using. If you're using a mobile phone or if you're using an Android phone, you can just put it into your Chrome browser. Because that sounds pretty serious, Chloe's grandpa. I wasn't expecting you to say that. So it sounds like your staff attacked your older dog, and then someone had to take him away. So did someone get upset and took and basically had your other dog taken away? It's not letting you highlight or copy. Interesting. Um, Even from the screen. Let's see here. Okay, I would have thought that you'd be able to go to the comment sections in YouTube and just copy it straight from the actual comments. But it sounds like you can't even do that from the comments. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's not worry about it. I know it's possible. We've done it before. We've had people figure out how to copy and paste it into their browser and then log in. But it is a little bit complicated. It seems to be. I wish there was a link that you can just click on it, but literally you have to copy the entire HTTPS console and then paste it into your browser. You know what I mean? It's not like you can just click on it and it is automatically. It's not a real link. It's not a link that you can click on. Um, but it sounds like you can't copy it either. Okay. Wow. So Chloe, just go ahead and continue. Chloe's grandpa, go ahead and continue to tell me the story through the comments, and then I'll read it while I finish telling them a story about rain, filling the gaps with rain. So yesterday we were here, and I'm always trying to keep my dogs from running and being reactive to the neighbors coming out into their backyard, right? And so, by the way, 10, is the quality okay, or does it look pretty grainy? Let me know how the quality of the video is turning out right now too, because that's important. Um, but we were out here, and so the neighbor's door. So the thing is, dogs they have like sounds and repetitive sounds can trigger your dog. So if your dog, okay, great, thank you. I was wondering about that. So. Repetitive sounds, if they hear the doorbell ringing, ding dong, boom, they just immediately react to those things. They can immediately react. So, and the reason why is because every time that happens, every time the doorbell rings, something exciting happens, all right? So they react to that excitement. And then in the case where we're in the backyard, what's exciting for them is when the neighbors come out their back door. When that back door flings open, they hear it and they're ready to just go for it, right? So I've been working on trying to reduce their reactivity to the neighbors' dogs coming into the backyard. And you've probably seen me where they'll hear the dogs come out, and I'll stop them midway there, and they've came back, and I've been, yes, good boy, good girl, just give them all the praise, trying to reinforce that's the good behavior that I want them to have, right? So unfortunately, yesterday was the day that this guy, the Cane Corso, decided, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and challenge this boundary you got here. So the problem with the dogs challenging boundaries is if you can't respond to the boundary change. What's going on, Casper? So, okay, I see you, Chloe's grandpa. I'm gonna come back to you in just a minute. Let me finish the story, but we're gonna come right back to that because I'm feeling your frustration through your comments. But so the neighbor's dog yesterday, dogs came busting out the door and they came right to the fence line, and then my dogs immediately reacted. And Rain thought that today was gonna be the day that he wasn't gonna listen to Dad, right? And so mental barriers, mental boundaries are good as long as they continue to follow them. But if they kind of blow past them and you don't have a response, then it kind of tells them that they can continue to do the bad behavior. And so that's exactly what happened. And I was at a disadvantage because I thought I was trying to film the whole interaction because my goal here is to give you the real life, non-edited version of what it is. Because, everyone talks about the cool stuff, and you know how social media is. Social media is basically all the positives of your life for the most part, or all the negatives depending on what your angle is, and you skip out all certain parts, right? So my goal with the live stream is to say, all right, look, it is what it is. If I'm not training my dogs, you'll see it. Or if I am training, there's no way to edit a live stream. It is what it is. Now I could take the video down, which I did, by the way, because it wasn't very helpful. But I'm giving you the raw footage. I'm not giving you an edited video. So I'm holding the camera with one hand, and then Rain decides that he's going to continue to chase after the neighbor's dog. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. He's going to make me get up from my Wi-Fi location, and he's going to make me hunt him down. And I'm like, I'm going to film the whole thing. So unfortunately, this is a fast dog, and with him saying, well, I've already kind of blew past the first barrier, I might as well continue to go. And so he kept running. And then it was like, okay, well, normally when I come close to you guys, when I come close to them to the fence line, they stop and they listen to me like, oh, well, we got to take Dad serious. Not Rain, not yesterday. He was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just run around Dad. Okay, now I wasn't in my track shoes on and I was holding the camera expecting you see how he's poised right now. And what I've got going right now is I got the prong collar and I got the leash on him. So I'm ready to provide that negative feedback the moment, because I'm gonna give him the positive, like, hey, come back, big boy. And he knows I got some incentives in my pocket. Okay, so I'm trying to sweeten the deal. Say it's better to hang out with Daddy than it is to run and go chase the neighbor's dog up the fence line when I'm not supposed to. So I'm waiting for that magical moment for that door to fling open. Wow! And the next thing you know, they react to it, and then I'm going to give that negative correction. No, sir, you're not leaving this park. You're not leaving away from me, and you're certainly not going to run around me to continue to do what you want to do. So in my mind, that was a super offense. Super offense. The first time running off, okay, fine, no big deal. I go over there to give you direct feedback, and you say, forget you. And then you run around me, and then you continue to interact with the dog. So that's not good. That's not good control of your dog, right? I mean, that's showing it. It's almost like saying you have like no training at all. So, uh, and then the third insult to injury is the Rottweiler, who is very obedient, learned from the Connie Corso that, oh, all you have to do is run around Dad, and then you can continue to do what you do. Continue to do what you want to do. And so I was okay. Chloe's grandpa, keep typing because I'm gonna go all the way back and I'm gonna read all those comments. And I mean, I don't, I'm not very happy with what I'm reading, but I'm trying to finish the story, and then we're gonna go right to what's going on with you. I wish that you can come on live because I would like to talk to you live, but we'll figure it out. So there was three things here. Nope, come here, Rain. Everybody, come here. So I really don't want him to pull too much on it because that prong collar does get tight around his neck. And I'll explain that in a minute. Um, so this is what I want. You know, it's not hurting him, but it's giving him that feedback that I don't want him to do something. Okay. So I'm waiting for that magical moment, guys. I'm waiting for that magical moment for that. And he's looking too. He's in that prime position. When are they coming out? I want to come. I want to go see him. So and anyways, the third thing that I was referred to was Storm. My very obedient dog took cues from him to evade and continue. So the bad behavior with him challenging the boundaries, gave the other one confidence to break through her mental barrier of, oh, I can not do what Dad says and everything's gonna be all right. I can still continue to play. So now, luckily, this event happened in the confines of my backyard, right? In the confines of a fence. There's no other humans involved. There's no other real dogs that they could get out at and bite. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this with Naomi. What's going on? Good morning. How are you? I'm saying that, knowing that I need to go back and read all of Chloe's grandpa's comments, because it sounds like that's what you were involved in a situation where another dog was actually attacked. But in my case yesterday, guys, it was all in the confines of my backyard. Okay, so the disrespect that he shown yesterday and the lack of obedience that he displayed yesterday didn't result in ultimately no one getting injured. But what it did expose is where is the training necessary? Where is the training needed for this guy? Okay, and it helped me realize what was going to happen when this guy disobeys, how she's going to react to it. So it's important and we've talked about this before. When you have a dog that's the ringleader, come here, big boy, come here. When you have the dog that's the ringleader, it makes the behavior of the other dogs worse. So you really got to find out which dog is causing all the problems in your home, because that's the one that's controlling the rest and is giving them the. I'm good, thanks. Hope you are good. I'm good, Naomi. I'm just filling in a story that happened on yesterday's live stream. I actually had to take that down because the quality of the video was too poor to learn from. I really wish I could have kept it because it was. I'm trying to tell the story, but I really wish that you could have saw what happened. But just to catch you up, and there's two things going on, Naomi. So, if you Chloe's grandpa jumped on and he's mentioned something that's happened with his staff and his older dog, and so we're gonna go back and read his comments because I'm really concerned about what's going on his end. So that's going on in the background, and then I'm also kind of telling my misfortune yesterday with rain. But the short end of the story is that I see I have him on the leash right now and a prong collar, and there's a reason I have. Come here, Rain. Here, buddy. Um, Good boy. That's a good boy. But we were filming yesterday, and he decided when the neighbor's dogs were going to come out of the backyard over there, that he was just going to go for it and take off running and go play with them. And I told him to come back, and he wouldn't listen. And then when I get over there to confront them, he decides to evade and continue to play. Okay, and which again, to me, that's like the second offense that he did. He knew I didn't want him to do it. I told him to come back, confronted him, and then he says, "Nope, I'm not listening." And then the third thing that happened was my Rottweiler, who would have ordinarily listened to me, decided that she was going to disobey and follow his lead. So she wasn't taking the alpha, which is me. She was taking the hey, what's going on, Draxman? So I think Draxman, you were here yesterday too when it happened. But she decided she was going to take the lead from him and continue the bad behavior. So you had two bad dogs, but really and truly, it started with him. It started with him because Storm has been, she's been around for a long time. She knows my expectation, and she knows if you make me get up to come confront you, you've done something bad, right? So, but she was also learning, and these dogs, they learn bad seemingly more quickly than the good stuff, right? It doesn't take them very long to learn the bad behaviors. It just takes one dog to do the bad and get away with it, and the other ones are like, oh, that's all I got to do is just run around, Dad. And so I was I'm pretty fast. I'm a sprinter, you know what I'm saying? Not really like sports sprinter, but you know what I'm saying? I can sprint. And so, and that's what I needed to do was, if my dog was going to run from me, he needs to realize that's not possible. Okay, so in his mind, all his things that he kept trying to do to get what his way he needs to realize that's not a possible solution. That's not a way to interact. However, in yesterday's case, with him running around me, he was being successful. So it encouraged him to keep going. He was like, okay, well, if all thing I have to do is just run back a few meters and a few feet, and then turn around and keep going, this is working. And so, and like I said, Storm was kind of like watching the whole thing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna start doing that as well. And anyway, so after I finally caught up with him, now again, I was debating about throwing my phone down on the ground and just going for it and catching him, because I needed him to have that negative feedback. I don't want to have in his mind that it is possible for me to outrun Dad and disobey him. It is possible, because if that's in his playbook, that's what he's going to run to. He's going to run to that it's possible. So today, the reason why he has on the leash and a prong collar, which I may let him go in a minute. He wants to get away from me, which is fine. I don't, I'm not trying to keep him a prisoner right now. I'm not trying to keep him in prison, but what I am doing is I'm keeping. I have the prong collar on him just if I need to, because if they bust open the door today and he decides to run for it, he's not going to be able to do that, because Dad's got this leash on him and he's got the prong collar. He's not going to be able to do it. So that's going to be the first level of correction. Now, the second layer of correction is if I let him go and let him go play, and he decides that he's going to do evade and run, the leash is going to give me something to grab hold to while he's trying to do his maneuvers. So he can run, or he may be able to outrun me on the short term, but with the little leash on the ground, That's something I can actually step on and catch up with them. Now, it won't be a pretty sight, but it's, again, this is one of the times where I can't just all the time give them positive, like, come here, here's the treats, not whenever it's, hey, running around with the neighbors is more stimulating than a treat is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if your dog is okay with treats, and that's the most stimulating thing in the world, and they'll ignore everything, they'll ignore the world blowing up or whatever, just so that they can get a treat. Cool. But if you have a dog like this who's not gonna necessarily, and y'all excuse me for the wind. I hate not having my microphone with the little fuzzy things to break the wind up, but it's just this Evu Mux program is not not the best when it comes to playing with other external devices. But anyways, you guys let me know if you can't hear me or if I need to repeat something. But um, anyways, the if the other dog is more stimulating than your treat, then you have to have a method to give them the negative correction, or else in their mind it's always going to be an option. It's always going to be an option to say no to dad and just run around him. It's always going to be an option unless you take that option away. So in my case, he's going to have a prong collar and he's going to wear a leash, and I may let him go so he can kind of have a little bit of freedom um, while I'm streaming, but he's going to keep the collar on him. The only exception is if him and Rain starts to play rough, whatever, then I won't let him keep this collar because I don't want him to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the wrong message to come across. But I do want to make sure. Yes, that's exactly right, Drex, man. I have to remind him that those freedoms that he thinks he has can be taken away if you don't do what you're supposed to. It's like little kids, right? You got to take your phone away. If you don't get your grades right, or if you're misbehaving in school, I'm taking your phone away. So in this case, he's getting a lot of his freedoms taken away from him. Now I'm still waiting for that magical moment for the neighbor to fling that door open, so I can watch his behavior. Um, but so far, nothing. But like I said, when I control him and get him straight, then the other one falls in line. Because she's already used to doing what I ask her to do. She's not used to running from me. But it's funny though, because once he kind of planted in her mind that she could run away, that's all she's been doing yesterday and this morning. This morning I asked him to come over here and sit down so I could put his collar on it, and she got too excited. She thought we were going for a run, which is fine. I understand that, but I gave her a command to sit. And she didn't. She kind of got up, and I was like, come here. I raised my voice, and then she started running. And I'm like, where is this running coming from? It's all coming from yesterday. That one act of him disobeying and running off now has her triggered to thinking, oh, that's a option. So now I've got to go back and correct both behaviors. You know what I mean? So it is really, really important to, Rain, come back. It's really important to figure out who's doing the bad in the home, because the bad one is teaching the other ones to react. It's teaching the other ones how to have bad behaviors. So find the one that's doing the behavior that's influencing the pact, and then you work on that behavior. That's what we're doing today. Uh, so it was unfortunate yesterday, and I thought I was trying to be helpful by filming the whole thing, but I went back to watch the video and realized there was absolutely nothing to view, nothing to. I mean, you could hear me talk it through, but I didn't think anyone would want to just hear like a pixelated video and just while I'm sitting here running around telling my dog to go back and stop and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't feel like it was very much value, but. Having good quality video and then telling the story, I think is the best I can do with that. It's been an eventful days, and yeah, Naomi, it was very eventful yesterday. I don't think I've been in that type of dad mode in a long time, if ever, honestly, because I felt like that's a safety issue. If I can't tell you to come back when you need to for your own safety, that's a problem. You know, and in the case where this happens, where we're you know outside of my backyard, we're on a walk or something, and then he gets stimulated by something, and finds out that he could just back out of this leash, or and he breaks free, or the leash comes out of my hand for some reason, and I can't tell him to come back, and he goes and bites somebody or bites something, then that's the end for him. So okay, so that was my story. Let's go back and read Chloe's grandpa's issues, because I'm really concerned about him this morning, because it sounds like I'm not the only one that's dealing with some issues. So, Chloe's, let me see, watching it yesterday made me feel like I'm not the only one who experienced that. Exactly. So, right. So, yeah, so Chloe's grandpa was live during while it was going on. And were you able to see the video? Because when I went and looked at the video on YouTube, it was nothing but just grainy. Like, you could see every like 2 or 3 seconds, it would show another pixelated screen. Like, it would skip. So it didn't even seem valuable to and I didn't record it on my device, so I wasn't recording to be able to show a higher quality video. But um anyways, it would have been great. It would have been it would have been great. It would have been great. But those things can definitely happen, even with the dog, and I believe even with some of these trainers that have like one of these they have you know they come across as having all the control in the world. I think there's just times where your dogs are just not going to behave, and the way you respond to it, how you do it, is important. And I think Mama Bear's coming out to come join the party. There's little Missy. Missy's got on her jacket, and Storm is excited over there. But he's on lockdown, so he can't leave the confines of his leash. No, come back. Come back.
Boy.
Hey, Mama Bear.
Hello.
What's going on? Rain. Come back, buddy.
Here, I'll give him something.
He wants something to play with? All right. Come here. I may let him go in a minute so he can play, because I do want him to have some playtime. Hey, Missy. But I'm hoping that the neighbor's dogs will come out so I can give that negative feedback that he desperately needs. Um, hey, Missy. Is that little Missy? Come say hello to Missy. Say hello there, world. How you doing?
Rain.
Oh, man. I bet it was Chloe's grandpa. It felt crazy because I was like winded. I could barely talk because I hadn't sprinted in a while. And this dog had me winded, y'all. He had me winded trying to catch him. Come here, everybody. But yeah, sometimes your dog goes forward, then sometimes you lose ground. Sometimes you revert back to your old ways, and you've got to maintain that. Oh, it's like I always talk about training your dog. You can't just train your dog once and forever. It requires daily interaction. And I think with the Cotty Corso, it's a very, very determined dog. You know what I mean? And it pushes boundaries. So you have to reinforce those boundaries very, very often with them. Very, very often you got to reinforce boundaries with them. So, but anyways, let's go back to, I was expecting either a view of the sky or ground. Yeah, because you heard me, Grandpa. I was like, I'm just going to call you Grandpa, man. Is that okay? Can I call you Grandpa? Because Chloe's grandpa, it's too many syllables. But Grandpa, I came out here and I'm like, I need to take care of this dog more than I need to film. And but I was torn because like I bet this is helpful to somebody to watch me do this. So I was torn between throwing the phone down and then going to get my dog and giving the correction, because the longer it went on, the more he wasn't getting the message. The more he felt like it was an option. Like, hey, I'm winning this race. I don't have to listen to what Dad says. I can actually just keep going. So I needed to shut it down. So finally, I did get him to calm down. And the neighbor, she was doing her best to call her dogs as well. And I did send them a message too, because I want them to know that, listen, it's not about, we both have our own homes. We should be able to have our dogs come out whenever we need them to come out. We don't have to work around schedules or anything like that. I prefer that my dog learns not to overreact, and the same for their dogs, not to overreact when my dogs are here. Um, Training, not restriction, but training. You know what I mean? So, that's what I would prefer. we live in harmony. It's more helpful than you know to me. I appreciate it, Chloe Grandpa. So let me go back to your story real quick. I don't know. Do you have your phone by chance? Because I need a little help catching up with a story here.
No,
Because it's not.
I was reading it. He was talking about the fees and all of that.
Yeah. So what happened exactly?
No, he was saying that they one attacked the other. They hit him with a bunch of threats.
Who is? So is it the county or was it the? Are you saying the? And how do they find out?
So there's a little bit of a lag.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't pull it up because I shut it off.
Okay.
It's not showing me the back feed for that.
No worries. No worries.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I was coming out here to see if I could help, but I am freezing,
Oh yeah, it's cold out here, y'all.
and I brought Missy out here to sport her thunder jacket. But I mean, I do think he should run because he's gonna be a pain in the butt the rest of the day.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be a thing. Okay, so Chloe, Grandpa, I'm going back. No jailable offense. So when I plead not guilty and it is not a jailable offense, I am not entitled to a court appeal lawyer. I go to pretrial. Oh my God, Chloe. So Grandpa, you this is a serious thing here. So guys, so I don't know whoever else is listening, but this is definitely an educational thing here. Let me go back. They're going to red tag my house. What? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hold on.
My eyes are watering.
Okay.
I was coming out here to see if I could help, so you could run me.
Okay. If you want to hold him and walk him, because I need to, I'm trying to go back and read all of Grandpa's messages here. Okay, so let me start from the very beginning here. Uh, okay. Going right to the beginning, Grandpa. My aggressive staff attacked my old dog. I tried to get help for her, but money was an issue. Uh-oh. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Um, all right. Sorry, guys. That's not what I want to hide that.
Hey, Storm, stop.
Come here, Storm. Come here.
That's Storm.
Maybe you're acting up too much. That's the obedience that I want right there, where I call them, they immediately come.
Okay, face that way to my eyes. But yeah, if you could just comment, it's just a
But I
lot
did
of.
what I could for her. When she scratched herself, she tore herself open. Oh my God, she was dying. I called emergency vet. $350. Oh wow, can't afford to eat daily. Oh my gosh, took her. It was the warden took her that night and put her. Oh my gosh, put her down. Showed to the Humane Society and the next day with the Humane Society and police. Wow, $30,000 in vet bills and fines. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Grandpa. 6 months in jail? Are they threatening that? Uh, and they are going to red tag my house in the midst of it. I signed everything they gave me, took my dogs, and left. I went to court and they dropped the abandonment charge, which meant I was charged with 4 counts of license and no rabies shots. Oh my gosh. No jailable offense. So, not guilty, and since it's not a jailable offense, I am not entitled to a court appeal. Wow. Oh my God, Grandpa, I'm reading all your comments. Sorry, guys, if you guys are bored with me reading the comments right now, but Grandpa's been through a lot right now. Okay, thanks, man. It's kind of hard to scroll through with my gloves on. Come here, big boy. Hey guys, it is. really cold here in Texas. Um, it's literally about 30, 32 degrees right now. I understand my poverty because of the issue, but when I was able to work and it was not my wife's caretaker, I would have done the right thing. I hear you. Wow, this storm is going crazy over there, y'all. Yeah, maybe the cold weather. Four dogs became too overwhelming with my wife and my depression. Oh man. Okay. Wow. Okay, guys. My apologies for taking the time to read. I'm trying to get caught up with what happened with Grandpa. Miss it. Email. Wow. Wow. I think I got caught up, man. That is one disturbing story. That's the thing. I mean, you've got to take this stuff seriously for the people that want big dogs, want this breed, and they're not understanding the seriousness at which you have to take the training, because if not, and and it's not. I'm not blaming the owner. I'm not blaming you, Grandpa. You saw what happened to me yesterday. The only difference with me and you is maybe I'm a little bit younger. Maybe um, I'm in the confines of my backyard. But any moment, one of these dogs, if he challenges the gate, for instance, over there, and he breaks through that gate and runs down the street and bites somebody, I'm liable for that. So you know what I mean. So you can do everything you can do. You can train. You can do all. Storm, what on earth do you got? Storm, what do you have over there? Why are you chewing on a big old log? You were chewing on the log, girl. So when you know that you have a problem with obedience in your dog, you have to address that, because you do what you can, but the system out there can be very cruel to an owner, even though your intentions weren't bad, or you're not not a bad dog owner, and you were doing your absolute best, but things unfortunately happen. So it's like one of those things where if you're overwhelmed and you need help, do your best to try to get the help, but sometimes it's not there. You know what I mean? And it's just so dogs can be a liability. They can be a liability. We do our absolute best to train our dogs, do the best that we can. Sometimes you need professional training, professional help. Um, but it's a serious thing. We love them. They're a lot of fun, but they're at the heart of them. They're animals. You had an aggressive dog separated. Yeah, yeah. You gotta. It's more than just it's more than just your little pet. It's not like a stuffed animal where you can buy it, stick on the couch, and everything is good. You've got to deal with all the issues that come along with them. And to me, I mean, this seems like an extreme example of a situation where you have a good owner, but things happen. We can you mitigate as much as possible. That's why I have this channel, is because I'm trying to, whatever one thing, there may be one or two things I say to a new dog owner that they've never heard before, that saves their dog's life, or someone's from being hurt, someone in the family from being hurt. And, in my mind, that's worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very much, it's very worth it. But there's things, like I said, whenever we had our other Rottweiler, at the time, no one had told me that it was a possibility that they could choke on one of their collars. And so, from my point of view, something like a little knowledge from someone else could have gone a long way. These things are so things can happen, guys. Things can happen. So my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. I'm gonna go back and probably reread your comments again. Um, but that sounds like a terrible situation, and I hope that this uh, resolves without being any issues for you and your family. It sounds like you already have enough with dealing with your wife and all the challenges there. But the dogs seemingly have made it more challenging. Mm. Yeah, I am so sorry to hear that. So, but yeah, so guys, continue to work with your dogs. Please continue to, if you see behavior issues, jump on it, jump in there, get it corrected. Do the research. It's important to start early. I will say that one of the most helpful things for me and my dogs is that my wife and I have had the mindset of researching when we first got them, or before we even got our dogs. Actually, before we got our dogs, and we also had the mindset of training once we've got them home, is keep up their training, and the nice thing about, and when you're in academics, a lot of times you'll hear this saying about, you learn it best when you can teach it. When you're able to teach somebody, that's when you actually know oftentimes we think that we understand and we think that we know what we're doing until we're forced to teach it, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I don't think I know it as well as I think I do. And so putting yourself in a situation oftentimes where you're forced to teach it to someone else, then you start clarifying all those things that you didn't know yourself. And so one of the things that I found happens to me is that when I come on to this and I talk about my dogs and what I'm doing to help them, I realize there's things that I'm missing. And so it forces me to look into those things. It forces me to think about those things. So, and so that engagement for me has been good for my education. I'm fighting for my Conde Corso back. I bet you can get it. Just one I can handle. Yeah, absolutely. See, okay, you see what's happening now? She went straight for his collar, and I don't think she liked that. That is her go-to. It's the neck. My Rottweiler goes to the neck. Now I know that most of that was play, but I'm watching her. I'm watching her, and she went right for tried to bite that collar off his neck, but that's a prong collar, and so she stopped. Now, of course, that's some dominant stuff. Now he's being super dominant with her. Yeah, I'm gonna take that off him in a minute because I'd never leave that on him and not supervise him, because you see how much they're going at it, and she's going for his neck. There's claws everywhere. There's hands, everything. That could be a huge concern. I'm not even sure if you can see that from this distance, but I have. But yeah, the reason why I have it on him now is because I'm waiting for the opportunity for him to give him that feedback that he can't just go run over there and ignore my commands. But come here, come here, puppies. Do you see that? That they were on their way to come, and then she decided she was going to turn around and play. So that's disrespectful too. Storm, come here. So I raised my voice to be more stern. Sit, sit. Storm, come here. You see how she runs off? Sit. And maybe the concrete is kind of cold too. Come here. Sit. Storm, sit. Good girl. That's all. Okay. Yeah, the concrete's cold. That's why she's not doing that. But that's fine. But my goal is that I want that recall when I need it. You know what I'm saying? You see how that leash got around her neck too? So I'm watching very closely. I would never do that. I'd never leave that on him if they were out here playing by themselves. Never do that, because it's already looking dangerous right now. All right, hey, cut it out, cut it out. So we're gonna stop it because it's looking too dangerous for me, way too dangerous for me. Anyways, but I'm watching and learning it today, and we'll be every time you go live. So spring comes. Oh, I appreciate you, Grandpa. I appreciate that. We're gonna keep sharing our experiences. We're gonna keep going. Um, because I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. The more we educate everyone, the more we educate ourselves, the more we become better dog owners, and we influence other people to be better dog owners. That's the goal here. So I'm sorry if today's a little bit kind of more of a gloomy, gloomy kind of. It's not as fun as it normally is, but it's okay. It's okay. And I think honestly, guys, it's a little bit chilly out here, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and end the stream and let them go in because you see, Storm didn't even want to sit down when I asked her to sit because this concrete is so cold. We're not used to being out here at 32 degrees, y'all. 32 degrees is really really cold for these Texans. um, I gotta cover up some more pipes today. Probably cover up the pool equipment pipe, run the waterfall, and then get prepared for the this week is gonna freeze over pretty nicely. So, but if anyone has any last comments, yeah, it's a Connie Corso. But if anyone has don't be gloomy. Grandpa, I'm not trying to be gloomy. It's just one of those days where it's more serious today than it was playful. So, and my heart goes out to you, Grandpa. I'm hoping that things do start to be better, and I hope it just turns around for you. Is that's kind of hurts me to read all that. You know what I'm saying? It hurts me because you always want to have a positive ending, especially with your dogs. You know. Thank you so much, Chloe, Grandpa. Thank you so much, Grandpa. I will see you guys on the next stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Okay. Bye bye.